Hello everyone, in this video I'm just quickly gonna go through how each stage works with hazards off. Of course, all of the credit goes to Greward, who provided us with all of this information, and big thanks to you, my friend, because this really helps us out. First things first, battlefield, nothing changes, obviously. Neutral, big battlefield, nothing changes. This one might be considered for doubles, I don't know, we'll see. Final destination, nothing changes. Peach's Castle. Alright, so for this one, the little bumper that's supposed to be up here is gone, and the platform on the bottom is just in place. It's not moving whatsoever. However, the little, I guess, metal things on the left and right are still a thing, and so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. If anything, this one might be considered a counter pick. Alright, so with hazards off, this stage has no barrel and the platforms don't move. But honestly, that kind of concerns me, as I think this layout looks pretty broken. It's so easy to just camp up here and not really fight, you know? I'd probably say that the original is better, if anything, and even then I'd probably want this one to not be included, just because of how big it is and also because of all of the other amazing stages that we might have. But I mean, who knows? I don't decide. Next up we have Hyrule Castle. The only thing that changes here is the tornado. It doesn't show up. Still, it's way too big to be played on competitively. Super Happy Tree. I didn't know it was named that, but apparently this stage has even with hazards off, the stage has clouds on the left side and probably I think it's 2 on the right side. So pretty bad stage. For this one, obviously the only thing that doesn't do anything is the tree in the middle. There he doesn't blow any wind. And so I guess it's just another battlefield with like a longer platform up here and maybe different blast zones. We don't know. I guess generally it's just neutral in both ways. I just don't personally like the wind because it kind of destroys ledge trapping, but whatever. Saffron City, the only thing that changes here is that the Pokemons don't come out. The platform still moves, and yeah, in general, this is just a bad competitive stage. This one, no. Princess Peach's Castle, with hazards off, the little guy here, I don't know what his name is, he doesn't show up and he doesn't blow up anything. And I would probably bet on that this stage is pretty bad because it separates the people that are here from the players that are here, and even in doubles it's not going to be a good idea, so probably not. Alright, this one is pretty interesting. The ship is just static, it's in place, there's no transformations, which is pretty cool, and it might be considered a counter pick if anything, but personally I'm leaning towards a ban, mostly because of this wall right here. But yeah, we'll see. Congo Falls. For this one, the main stage, originally if you step on it, it kind of goes down, but with hazards off, it's just static, it's in place, so it's stuck there. But obviously the rock is still there on this side, and that rock ruins everything, honestly. It's a shame, because I would love to see this stage as like neutral or an even counter pick, but I don't think that's going to happen with that rock there. Jungle Japes. With hazards off, there's no claptrap on this one, and for you that don't know, if this guy hits you, you just get spiked and you die. But there's still water, and the water still pulls you with the hazards off, so I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a good stage. Great Bay, we don't actually have any information on, but I assume that this Tingle guy doesn't show up, and who knows about the turtle. Maybe it's just stuck there, maybe it doesn't show up at all. I'm assuming it's just stuck there. Either way, it's not really a competitive stage, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so Brinstar. There's no lava, and nothing has a hurt box. So these things that hold these platforms, you cannot hit them, and you cannot hit this thing here in the middle either. Apparently this stage has a really big vertical blast zone. We're not too sure, but yeah. Who knows how the ground is going to be. I assume that this part is fine, but this here might kind of just block your path or make you stop from a run or whatever it is, and I'm not too sure how that's going to play out. It might be janky. If not, then if anything, this might even be neutral. But I assume, if anything, this is probably, I'm leaning more towards counter pick. For this one, the blocks are just unbreakable. You can't hit them whatsoever. But because of this walk off right here on the right side, it's still a ban. For this one, the cloud just doesn't show up anymore, which it's kind of a bummer. I kind of like the cloud, honestly. I would like to see the cloud, if anything. Like, I feel like the original is better personally, but yeah, I don't know. In either way, it's a neutral stage. Fountain of Dreams. With hazards off, the platforms do not go up and down. Honestly, I haven't even seen the original, so I don't know if the platforms even go up and down like in Melee, and so this one is pretty hard to judge because of that. I don't know if it's better to have slowly moving platforms or just have them stuck there. I mean, it basically just becomes Battlefield. with maybe different blast zones. And I guess I personally would just like to see the original, because I feel like the mechanic of the platforms moving up and down is pretty neat, but I mean, I might be wrong. We'll see. Okay, so Green Greens has no wind, nor any falling blocks or bombs, and so I assume the apples are gone as well. I do think that some characters are going to be able to like go down here, or, you know, and get all the way up here, or people are going to be able to go down, and then, man, it's going to be a mess, so I probably would lean towards a ban. Okay, Corneria, one of the most beautiful stages. With hazards off, there are no ships to try shooting you down, and this laser apparently doesn't shoot either. Obviously, it's still not a competitive stage, so it's a ban. Venom, no. Pokemon Stadium. This one with hazards off, no transformations, which is awesome, because the stage is pretty reminiscent of Melee, and it's going to bring in a bunch of viewers, and it's just neutral in general and really good. So I would love to see this one as like a standard pick. On it, no. Mushroom Kingdom, no. Okay, so for this one, Kraid is gone. He's not hitting and moving the stage anymore, but the layout is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it looks pretty bad to me compared to other stages at least, so I would hope that this is banned because it's pretty janky looking. Big Blue, nope. Orside, nope. So Delfino still has transformations with walk-offs, so no. This one is a no. For this one, the only thing that changes is that the cars don't show up anymore, but it's still a ban. WarioWare, however, has no transformations, which I'm really happy about because I love the stage. And so it makes it super neutral, and probably the only really good stage that also have long walls for characters to recover from. But yeah, this stage is amazing. Absolutely neutral. Looks goofy, but whatever. Bridge of Eldin is basically the same. It just doesn't explode in the middle, and so it's a no. So Norfair with hazards off has no lava. It's still a bit too big though, and a ton of ledges to recover to, so it's a really bad idea for a competitive stage. This one we all know. It doesn't turn around. There's a ledge that you can grab over here, and when this platform goes up, there is another ledge that spawns here. This might cause some kind of jank. We don't know at this point, but if it doesn't, I would love to see the stage as at least a counter pick. It could even be considered neutral. Okay, so Yoshi's Island from Brawl. This platform in the middle is static, so it doesn't tilt, which is great. These guys also don't show up, and the little ghosts on the left and right part don't show up either, which amazing. I love it. I would love to see the stage as a neutral pick. Okay, so Halberd has no transformations. There's no ship that'll shoot you down and no bombs. But I'm not so sure about the blast zones. They seem extremely low, and I bet you don't want to play against Bayonetta or any ladder combo here on this stage. So if anything, it might be considered a counter pick, but I'm leaning towards a ban. Alright, so Lylat. With hazards off, this stage does not tilt, which honestly is amazing. Now, I mean, I personally hate the stage just as much as you do, but who knows, it might be really good in this one. I would think neutral. If anything, it should be a counter pick, but it looks neutral to me. Pokemon Stadium 2. For this one, basically the same thing as the first one. No transformations, very neutral. The real question though is the layout. The platforms seem to be slightly different here. Whether it's distance or the size, or I don't know, I just might be misseeing it, but it looks slightly different. We'll have to test that. Also, we don't really know how the blast zones are going to look compared to the first one, so honestly, we should just find which one is the best one and just pick it and stick with it. This one, nope. Okay, so Castle Siege, no transformations, so it's only this stage. It's still questionable though. It could be a counter pick. It could be a neutral stage. It's not too bad. At this point, I'm not sure. I would probably lean towards counter pick because, I don't know, I feel like some characters would probably do better at this stage than most. And so, yeah, we'll see. Okay, this stage, Distant Planet. So this whole stage and the platforms don't lower and bounce when characters are on them anymore. There's no water that comes running down, and there's no hungry, I guess they're called Bulborb, something, I don't know. And there's no Pikmin, and there's no like coins that appear. Still, obviously, it's a bad stage for competitive, so no. Okay, so Smashville, I'm really excited about. I was really hoping for this change to happen. With hazards off, the platform is going to be stuck in the middle. The moving platform is pretty dumb, honestly, and it clearly makes some characters way too good. Like Ness can kill you at 0%, Sheik combos you and just kills you, and there's Roy combos, and there's Mario combos. There's a bunch of combos and stuff that can happen there, and it's just not fair. I guess that the platform being in the middle is going to make holding the middle stage way more potent, and so it'll make for a little bit more interesting gameplay. Because if you hold the middle here, and there's a little platform, nobody can just jump in and I guess approach like that. They have to approach from this kind of angle, like this small little jump here, or run in. Or they have to at least jump and then try to get to the other side or something like that. Also, obviously, there's no balloon, but either way, I would personally like to see this stage with hazards off, because I feel like it's way more neutral than with a moving platform, personally. So for this stage, the ice over here does not break, but it still transforms, it still slides down, and it still falls into water. The only difference is that there's no fish, so the stage is still no. Alright, so Skyworld. For this one, we know that the platforms here are not breakable, which it still is an issue because they're also not platforms that you can just jump through. Like, you can't be down here and then jump through them. You have to jump here or here first to get there. So you can just camp this top platform and not fight. So I would still say this is a pretty bad stage and it should be banned. So for this one with hazards off, these walls are unbreakable, which, yeah, it's bad. Luigi's Mansion. This one, same thing. The little pillars here that hold the house up, unbreakable. And there's no side platforms over here, because I know there's like some small little platforms on the left and right corner, but they're gone. Still, nobody's gonna play on this stage. It's not a good idea. For this one, there's no bombs, there's no launcher, so this thing does not work. The King of Red Lions doesn't show up. There's no tornado that picks up the blows away the ship. There's no rock on the left side that shows up. But because there's still water, I'm pretty sure it's not a suitable competitive stage. So we haven't really gotten information on this one, but I would assume that the Pokemons that show up here don't show up, or maybe they just don't do anything. Either way, for you that don't know, this is just the first stage. Under it is another stage. You can go underground and you can be there, and it's just not a good stage in general, so this is definitely a ban. This one, no. No, hell no. Green Hill Zone, no. 3D Land. 3D Land still transforms and is weirdly enough the same as with hazards on, so no. Golden Plains, no. Paper Mario does not transform. It has no wind. Apparently the blast zones are pretty broken, and there's still a pipe over here and a windmill and stuff, so I don't know, it's still a bad stage if you compare it to the other ones. Gerudo Valley, bridge cannot be broken. There's no Twin Rova, so they're not gonna, I don't know what they did, I don't remember, but they did some kind of magic and they interrupted you. But there's obviously walk-offs on the left and right side, so no. Okay, so Spirit Train. The top platform still randomly appears. The train doesn't really move, but it's still possible to get on the track and die. So it's a bad stage in general. Moving on. This one, okay, Unova Pokemon League. This stage, honestly, it's just flat with two platforms and nothing happens with hazards off. So I guess this is neutral. I'm not too sure about this one. I'm gonna have to skip this one. This one, nope. This stage is honestly beautiful. It was my favorite 3DS stage, and even with hazards off, I would probably go against saying no, because the stage is extremely huge and you can just stay up here, and some characters have to like jump and double jump, or yeah, you can just camp on this stage. Alright, so this stage has no transformations and you can't hit the statues. It's basically just this layout for the whole match, which honestly looks pretty good. It's another stage that potentially is neutral, or at least a counter pick. This stage, honestly, if this top platform, I don't know. There's a, nah, probably banned already. No. This stage, pretty much the same. The blocks still hit you when they fall from the air, so nope. I don't think there's any info in this one. Yeah, this is another stage I'm gonna have to skip. Tomodachi Life, no. Pictochat. This is another stage we don't have any info on. I don't think there's going to be a suitable hazards off drawing that we can all play on, so I'm already leaning on ban on this one. Probably ban. Mushroom Kingdom U. This stage does not transform, but it's still huge and probably not a good idea for competitive play. If anything, it might be illegal for doubles. Mario Galaxy with hazards off. The only thing that changes is that these platforms don't move, so it's a no. This stage still transforms, which is a shame. So, no. Skyloft, for some reason, seems to be the only stage that does not transform, which honestly makes me really happy because, well, I mean, the stage is very beautiful and it's very neutral in general. So yeah, I love it. Worst case scenario, maybe a counter pick, but it might as well be neutral. This one, come on. Kalos Pokemon League. This one has no transformations, so it's very neutral. It's just this and two platforms just where the edge is. God, we have way too many neutral stages, dude. I just don't know how we're going to have like proper rules for this game. For anyone out there who's trying to figure it out, good luck with that. Really, like, good luck with that. Colosseum, with hazards off, these things don't come up ever, and so it's just flat and walk off, so no. Flat Zone, no. Palutena's Temple, no. Gamer, probably not because of how large this is and how easy it is to just be up here in camp, so no. So for this one, there's no crab, there's no Pikmin, there's no bridge, so it's unbreakable, I guess. It still has side platforms, but honestly, it's too big and it's too clunky, so it's probably a no. Town and City with hazards off. It looks just like this. It's untouched. It's all of these stay exactly in place. They don't move, and so I would love to see this stage to just always be hazards off, honestly. Also, there's no balloon. Wii Fit Studio. The platforms are now stuck in place, but there's still walk-offs, so no. This one is basically the same, and there's still walk-offs on the left and right, so no, it's probably a ban. This one is too big, so no. For this one with hazards off, the ducks don't show up and the dog doesn't show up, but there's still a bush and there's still a tree. Now, hopefully all of you remember how big of a problem this tree was, and still is, and still will be, so I would highly recommend that this is banned. And it's also just an ugly ass stage. Wrecking Crew, no. Pilot Wings, no transformations. There's only this one plane that flies without tilting, but the rocks from the background can still hit you. So it's still a terrible competitive stage. Alright, next up, Woohoo Island. So this stage, no transformations, so it's basically a much larger Smashville. I don't know about these edges. They don't look very... I don't know. I wouldn't want to play on these. Honestly, I mean, it could be something for doubles. It really just depends on how the ledge affects the game. Windy Hill Zone, nah, it's too big. Okay, so for Hyrule Castle, this guy just doesn't show up. I think there's still platforms. I don't know if they move. Either way, though, I'm still leaning on, if anything, a counter pick. Because even if the platforms don't move, the better version of this stage would be WarioWare. This one, no. Super Mario Maker. This one is questionable because if this is the only layout, I'd say it's barely a counter pick, mostly because of this thing. I'm not sure. This is probably not a good idea for competitive play. But yeah, as we all know, the stage might have a ton of different layouts. Either way, I'd stick on the safe side and just say no. Suzuka Castle, no. Midgar, well, I mean, with hazards off, there's definitely just the creatures or whatever they are in the background are just not gonna mess with you. Sorry, I've never played Final Fantasy. This one with hazards off is basically just Omega. I mean, I guess neutral. It's Final Destination, so I'm just gonna have a question mark. I don't know what we're gonna do with this. New Donk City still transforms with hazards off, but we don't really know how bad the transformations are, so we'll see. Great Plateau, man, I love this stage so much, but with hazards off, it's basically it just makes the middle thing unbreakable. So it's a pretty broken stage. You can just stay under here and camp and like tech a bunch of things and not die for a very long time. All I can hope for is that, you know, people pick this stage in Battlefield form or Omega form and play on it, because it's too gorgeous not to be played on. Moray Towers is a big no. This layout wouldn't work. So for the Castlevania stage, it has stairs on the right and a ledge at the end of the stairs. There's no stairs at the left side, it's just a simple ledge over here. But there are small walls, which can be pretty obnoxious, and who knows what infinite stuff you will have over there. These walls right here. So because of these, I'd probably lean on it being a bad stage. But yeah, that's all we know so far. So thank you guys for watching this video. Before you click off this video, make sure you hit that notification bell because YouTube is being a bitch to me right now. And I would love for you guys to get notified about my videos. And I'll be back with you guys real soon. Have a good one.